right here is what we're actually going to cook the pepper jelly in. It is I'm not sure how many quarts this, so I've got more, but as you can see, all of them, all you got to do is chop the tops of them off. Well, y'all, this is what you've been waiting for, I know. We're back in the Projects Everywhere kitchen, and today we are going to be making pepper jelly. And I've only gotten good reviews out of this pepper jelly. It's hot, yes it's hot, but it's extremely good. I will leave the entire recipe in the description down below, and y'all could do this. Anybody could do this. You don't need cannons. You don't need a whole bunch of cannon stuff. All you need is a few jars, a couple of pretty deep pots, and a stove, and you're good to go. Let's get busy. Alright, what you're going to need is a bowl with 6 cups of sugar in it. You're going to need some jelly jars. These jelly jars, they're small jelly jars. You can get a whole flat of jelly jars. I think there's 12 that comes in a flat for about $8.50. And they actually have lids on them and everything. You're going to need your jelly jars. Of course, you're going to need your lids and your rings that come with them. You don't have to have these, but they are extremely handy whenever you're dealing with hot jars and hot liquid, because you don't want to burn yourself. This right here is a magnet. When you're sterilizing your lids and your rings, you stick it down in the water and you get it right out without burning your hand, which is awesome. It's not a have to, but it's nice to have it. This right here, this actually picks your jars up out of the water and you don't have to touch them. It's not a have to, but it comes in extremely handy. Alright, y'all, back to the ingredients. A regular batch of pepper jelly takes 12 peppers. That's what's right here. 12 peppers. I like a little bit hotter jelly, so I'm adding 24 peppers. Now, y'all don't have to add 24 peppers. If you want to do this for the first time, 12 peppers is fine. I like a little hotter jelly. So, I put 24 peppers, 6 cups of sugar, 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar, and 2 packs of Surgar liquid pectin. You're going to need a blender, and you're going to need 2 boiler pots, and I'll show you that in a minute. Alright, y'all, we got our peppers. What you want to do with your peppers, these I froze from last year. You take your peppers and you chop the tops of them off, and that's basically all you have to do. Alright, we have our blender here, and what we're going to do, I'm going to lean across, y'all. I'm going to get all of my peppers and put them in the blender, just like that. And you want to take your apple cider vinegar and you just want to pour about half of it in the blender and leave the other half in the jar. Take your lid, put on your blender. And most blenders, they have a pulse button on top, and you just hit that pulse button. You want to get these peppers diced up pretty good, so you just hit your pulse button quite a few times. Alright, y'all see I have 2 pans on the oven. This pan back here is for the water bath. This pan right here is what we're actually going to cook the pepper jelly in. It is I'm not sure how many quarts this pan is, but you see, it's a big boiler pot, and you really don't need this big of a boiler pot, but at the moment, this is what I'm using. Okay, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna take your bowl with your sugar in it. You got 6 cups of sugar. And you take your 6 cups of sugar and you're just going to pour it right in that bowl. Just like that. And you're going to have your little bit of apple cider vinegar, in which you look at all that sugar and you don't think it's going to dissolve, but it will. I'm telling you, it will. You just pour that little bit of apple cider vinegar down in there, and you turn your heat on. Turn your heat on. My heat is 1 to 10, just like everybody else's oven. And you want to turn it on about 7, so it'll heat up. You get your spoon, and you get ready to start stirring this, and when it gets all dissolved into one liquid, then we'll be right back. You want to constantly stir this. You don't want to leave it alone. You definitely want to hang out by the stove while you're doing this. Right level. The water needs to be right level with the top of the highest jar you have. And the reason I have the rings in the bottom is because you don't want your glass jars up against the hot surface of the bottom of the pan. See how thin it is? Alright, we're fixing to put the rest of the stuff in there. And keep it on my hands. We're going to get our solution out of the blender. This is the peppers we blended up. And we're just going to pour the whole solution into the pot. Ooh, it smells good. Going to thin out even more, and then we're going to bring it to a boil, and we're going to boil this for 10 minutes. Cut. Alright, if y'all can see, we are right at the boiling point. See it boiling? We're going to boil this for 10 minutes, and then once the 10 minutes is up, we are going to put the pectin in and then boil it for exactly 1 minute after we put the pectin in, and then we'll be scooping up and putting it in our jars. Just to let y'all know, this stuff actually doubles in size when it starts boiling. I'll show you. We got about a double in size going now. Just to let you know how big of a pot to cook this in. I have my jars ready. My lids are warming. I've got the water bath heating up, because as soon as we get these jars filled and capped, we need to go to the water bath. Alright y'all, it's time. We're going to put, you cut the tops off of both of these, and you just put both your, I don't know how to do it, surgar in there. I done messed it all up. And it's going to cool it down pretty quick, and it's going to stop boiling, but it'll pick back up pretty quick. And as soon as you put this in there, you boil it for exactly 1 minute after you put this in there, and then you take it off of the heat. This stuff is extremely hot, so be extremely careful when you're putting this in the jars. But at this moment, it's ready to put in jars. So what we're going to do, we are going to jar our jelly up. I like to use this white scoop because it's fairly easy to use. Make sure your jars are sterile. And put your jelly in the jars. You want to use everything you got. Alright, and we're going to put the leftovers in this last jar. You want to take a rag and get the apple cider vinegar you use to make the jelly. You want to take your rag and put over and just get some apple cider vinegar on the rag. Get a good bit. Because what you want to do, you want to take your jars and wipe the lids of your jars, because you want them to seal. And they will not seal if there's any jelly on that ring on that top. Alright. Once you get your jars clean, alright. At this time we have our water bath. Nice and warm, but we want it to come to a boil. Alright, y'all. This is when the little pinchers I told you about come in handy. Y'all, we got 2 minutes left. They're just about ready. We're fixing to take them out of the water bath. They've been boiling for 8 minutes now. We got 2 minutes left. Alright, y'all. That's all there is to it. Easy peasy. Get busy making some pepper jelly.